What if I told you that the human body hides invisible switches to different states of consciousness right beneath the surface? And what if one of those switches is just behind your ear, waiting to be gently activated with 2 fingers? This isn't common knowledge. It's a practice that's been kept quiet, passed down quietly through healers, monks, and sages who understood something modern science is just starting to catch up with. The body isn't just biology, it's an energetic map that responds to sacred touch. Today, I'm going to share one of those keys, stimulating the mastoid area, that delicate spot behind the ear once touched softly, like the ear of a sleeping child. This simple gesture activates a deeply restorative neurosensory circuit, a pathway to deep rest, a door to inner silence, where the soul finds peace and the body renews itself. Maybe you felt it without even realizing it, when you're held by someone you love, lightly touched behind the ear as if by chance, and suddenly an unexplained calm washes over you. It's not just tenderness, it's ancestral memory encoded in your nervous system. That spot is a key, unlocking not just sleep, but the sacred rest of the soul. In this video, we'll explore this forgotten practice. We'll uncover its spiritual roots, its link to the parasympathetic nervous system, and why it matters in energetic healing. We'll see how, when done with intention, this touch becomes a ritual of reconnecting with yourself. A compassionate act that heals from the inside out. Ancient cultures already understood the connection between touch and consciousness, between skin and spirit. This small area was even thought to be where the gods whispered, because it's not just about touching, it's how you touch and where you touch from. The body answers the soul, and when the soul touches with devotion, even the smallest gesture becomes an act of illumination. So if you've ever felt restless, like the world won't quiet down even when you close your eyes, maybe it's time to learn what the sages knew. Behind the ear lies a threshold, and touching it with reverence opens the door to an inner sanctuary. True rest isn't forced, it's invited. Get ready. This knowledge isn't just information, it's a tool. Used consciously, it might reveal that the silence you've been searching for has always been within reach of your fingers. Since the dawn of humanity, people have intuitively known the body is more than a biological machine. Ancient cultures saw the body as a living temple, where every part was sacred, connected to energies, emotions, and invisible forces we're only starting to understand today. Among those mysterious spots, the area behind the ear, the mastoid region, was seen by many sages as a point that helps regulate the soul. In Eastern traditions like Taoism and some branches of Tantric Buddhism, this spot was called the sleeping petal, a poetic name for a place of stillness and tenderness that could bring altered states of consciousness through loving touch. It was considered a hinge between the sensory world and the spiritual world, between the noise of the mind and the silence of being. In India, yogis recognized this area's importance in pratyahara, the withdrawal of the senses. Some ancient texts say gently stroking this spot before meditation or sleep helped the mind pull back from the outside world. In other words, it eased the transition from wakefulness to deeper realms, preparing the body for rest and the mind for growth. Even in South American shamanic traditions, healers lightly pressed behind the ear to release the day's tension, thoughts, and stress that block deep rest. The touch was with 2 fingers, like gently brushing a flower petal, allowing the soul to come home. Philosophically, This spot means more than just sleep. It symbolizes the sacred vulnerability of being human. Sensitivity, listening, balance, and openness all meet here. It's no accident it's near the ear, an organ many traditions call the most spiritual sense, because it doesn't demand action, only presence. The ear receives, listens, and welcomes. The mastoid area acts as a sensitive bridge between the physical and emotional body. It's a threshold, a vortex that, when touched with intention, tells your nervous system, you can let go, you can trust, you can rest. No wonder some called it the divine silence button, because here, between skin and bone, lies a door that opens not by force, but by tenderness. Understanding this is remembering what modern life often forgets. Deep rest comes not just from being tired, but from trust. To truly rest, closing your eyes isn't enough. You have to open your soul. Now that we've grasped the ancient and symbolic meaning of the spot behind the ear, it's time to look at its practical and functional sides without losing its mystery. At the intersection of body and spirit, neurological and spiritual, lies the vagus nerve, one of the body's most powerful yet overlooked structures. The vagus nerve, named from the Latin vagus meaning wandering, is the 10th cranial nerve. But it's not just a biological thread. Think of it as an invisible highway linking the brain with almost all internal organs: heart, lungs, liver, stomach, intestines, and crucially regulating the parasympathetic nervous system, which controls rest, digestion, and healing. In short, the vagus nerve is the master switch that turns off alert mode and leads us into physiological and mental calm. Here's the mystery. One of the most accessible branches of the vagus nerve runs just behind the ear in the mastoid area, really close to the outer ear. That means if you consciously and slowly touch this spot, like waking a sleeping petal, you're directly activating this deep rest circuit. This isn't poetic magic. It's a simple but profound biological truth. The body doesn't just listen, it responds. And this spot, largely ignored by conventional medicine, holds the secret to one of our greatest gifts: the ability to quiet internal noise. Imagine your nervous system as a garden. During the day, thoughts flutter like birds in the branches. Emotions move like the wind shaking the leaves. But when you gently and respectfully stimulate this spot, it's like a warm breeze sweeps through the garden. The birds hush, the leaves stop moving. The vagus nerve sends a clear message: you're safe. You can stop fighting. Many modern problems, anxiety, insomnia, chronic fatigue, irritability, come from parasympathetic system imbalance. We're stuck in a constant state of alert, always feeling like there's something to worry about. But when we mindfully touch the mastoid area, we flip the switch back to rest mode. It's like putting out a fire with a whisper. But it's not just about touching, it's about how you touch. Intention, slowness, and the quality of the touch make all the difference. You use 2 fingers, the index and middle, slightly apart like forming a petal. The touch is rhythmic, soft, almost like a mother soothing a sleeping child. In that moment, you're not just touching your body, you're connecting with your energy, reminding yourself you're not alone, that you're safe. This touch sparks more than a physical response. It awakens deep memories of primal safety. It reconnects you with a code written in your DNA: tenderness, protection, and willing surrender. No drugs or fancy rituals needed, just presence and skin. And that door, one of the most important, is right there behind your ear, where true silence begins. Touching the mastoid area with intention isn't just a technique. It's a ritual. It weaves together the physical, energetic, and symbolic in a dance of deep reconnection. Unlike acupressure or massages, the key here isn't pressure, it's devotion. When you place your 2 fingers in that petal shape, you're not only stimulating a sensory spot, you're speaking an ancient language, a lost code between skin and soul. It's the same kind of touch a mother instinctively uses to soothe her child without words, as if her energy flows through her fingertips, saying, "Everything's okay," and the body understands because biology and spirit aren't separate. The nervous system carries traces of our softest, deepest experiences. The body doesn't need convincing, it just needs to be touched with honesty. When you do this before sleep, you're not just calming your nervous system. You're building a bridge between the end of the day and the start of the dream world. By touching that spot in rhythm with your breath and awareness, you're entering a sacred space, the space between day and night, outside and inside, conscious and unseen. In many mystical traditions, this moment just before sleep was seen as the perfect time for inner transformation. It's the moment to plant sacred thoughts, release the noise of the world, and surrender to rest like surrendering to the cosmic ocean. Gently activating this spot was considered the key to opening the channel. Ancient Tibetan and Taoist medicine call this spot the soul's ear. Legends say those who calm this area with devotion can hear the voice of silence, a melody coming not from outside but from deep within. Some masters say the wise don't sleep to escape life, but to listen to what only stillness speaks. And activating this spot ritualistically doesn't just help rest, it builds over time. Night after night, your body links this touch with willing surrender. Your mind relaxes faster, your heart slows, and your soul gets ready to soar. You could say this sacred touch is a shining anchor, a body reminder that you're not alone in the dark, that an unseen network supports you when you let go. Touching behind your ear like you're soothing a sleeping child tells yourself you can drop your guard, and that tiny gesture is revolutionary in a world that prizes constant tension. What starts as a simple caress becomes an act of spiritual power, a signal, a code, a private ceremony between you and your living temple. The body doesn't need conquering, it needs remembering. And when that happens, rest stops being just a wish and becomes a living reality sparked by the soul. We live in a culture that glorifies speed, rewards exhaustion, and masks fatigue as success. Good sleep is a rare luxury, and deep rest feels like a distant dream for millions. But what we've forgotten, and what ancient traditions deeply understood, is that rest isn't the end of the journey, but part of the sacred path. Rest isn't laziness, it's physiological wisdom. Rest isn't emptiness, it's fertile ground where the invisible seeds of transformation grow. So cultivating the art of touching the mastoid area with intention shouldn't just be seen as another relaxation trick. It's a spiritual practice of energetic self-care, a tool that, when added to your nightly routine, can truly transform how you experience your waking hours. Here are some tips to consciously bring this sacred knowledge into your daily life. 1. Create a sacred nightly ritual. Before bed, turn off bright lights, silence your devices, and place a candle nearby. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and gently place your index and middle fingers behind one ear on the mastoid area. Lightly stroke in circular or straight motions, like you're drawing a soft breeze on your skin. Do this for about a minute, then switch to the other side. This simple act sends a clear message to your system. The temple is closing, the soul is gathering. 2. Pair it with an intention or a sacred phrase. Mind and body respond deeply to words. While you do this caress, silently repeat phrases like, I am at peace, I can let go, or I am held by the universe. This links the physical touch with a powerful vibration. 3. Don't rush. This isn't a massage, it's a language. If you do it quickly or without presence, it won't have the same effect. Treat it as a moment to connect with yourself, like touching the quiet shore of a lake at dusk. 4. Use it during moments of anxiety. While it's ideal before sleep, you can also use this touch anytime during the day. If you're feeling stressed, tense, or overwhelmed, just pause, breathe, and gently touch yourself. It's a way to come back to yourself without running away. 5. Share it with loved ones. This knowledge isn't just for you. If you have children, a partner, or close friends, offer them this gentle touch before sleep as a loving presence. You're calming their nervous system and their energetic field, telling them without words, you can relax, I'm here with you. Remember, how we sleep reflects how we trust. Trust is an art built through small, slow, meaningful gestures. Touch this spot every night, not mechanically, but as a living key to your own peace. Behind the ear, where the skin is thin and the noise of the world fades, there's a door, not a physical door with hinges or locks, but an energetic opening, a silent threshold that only opens when approached with devotion. Along this journey, we've seen that the mastoid area is much more than just a part of the body. It's like the soul's antenna, a nervous system nest where the parasympathetic system, the vagus nerve, and our energy field meet to remind us of something essential. Rest is not just biological, it's sacred. When you touch that spot softly like a petal and caress it as if soothing a sleeping child, you call on ancient wisdom. This isn't a trick or a trend. It's the body's forgotten language responding to the invisible, recognizing tenderness as medicine. In a world where nights are filled with screens, mental noise, and endless to-do lists that never end, this practice becomes an act of bright rebellion. Sleeping well is no longer just a need, it's a spiritual right. By reclaiming it consciously, we remember that part of us remains whole, wise, and deep, untouched by modern stress. That part waits for you every night, right behind your ear. This small gesture, repeated with intention, can reshape your relationship with rest, your body, and even your soul. Because what you're touching isn't just skin, but emotional memory, the ancestral map where your spirit holds its deepest secrets. It's there that the symbol of who you were, who you are, and who you can become lives, if you let yourself truly rest. So next time you close your eyes, don't just seek sleep. Seek surrender. Don't just seek disconnection. Seek return to yourself. And when your fingers touch that soft spot, do it like a priest lifting the veil of a sanctuary, because what lies behind that touch is sacred. Touch with intention, breathe with presence, and let silence whisper its wisdom. If this knowledge has touched something inside you, if you believe this ancient secret deserves to be shared with more souls searching for peace, like this video, share it with those who need it, and subscribe to this channel where every week we share more keys to your deepest spiritual self. Remember, some doors only open from within, and sometimes it all begins with a gentle touch behind the ear.